There is outrage. There's disbelief. Dozens of people say a local businessman deceived them.
And a News 4 consumer investigation has found the complaints go back years. Our consumer investigative reporter Susan Hogan is here now with the story you will only see on News 4. Susan?
Well, Jim, we first told you about a business called Access Mobility 2 years ago. The owner was accused of taking thousands of dollars from seniors for medical equipment like stair lifts and wheelchair ramps, but never delivering them. After our first stories aired, he paid those customers back, but the complaints continued to roll in. One by one, they showed up with their walkers, their canes, some carrying oxygen tanks. But to everyone you see gathered in this room, the effort to get here was worth it. Why are you here today?
To stop them.
To stop this man, Jim Clore.
I mean, it's one thing to steal from people, but to steal from people who are in dire straits, that's even, to me, just one more step lower.
News 4 brought these people together, all of them customers of Jim Clore. They say Clore took their money and then never performed the work.
He asked for $2,500 up front.
Kathy Szymborski hired Clore to install a ramp for her 97-year-old father. She says after she paid him in April, she never saw Clore again.
He reassured me he'd be out early the next week. Well, he never came.
And he never refunded her money either. Kathy's dad died 5 months later.
I give half money.
Sue Gill and her husband paid $8,000 for a lift from Access Mobility. Clore promised it would be installed September 6th or 7th.
He keeps sending every day text message. Oh, my wife leg hurt. Oh, my daughter birthday. Oh, I'm sick.
Sue had to carry her husband up and down the stairs for weeks until he died 1 month later.
He fell so many times, bruised everywhere, cut, head, everything.
One heartbreaking story after another.
Molly Harnett,
Judy Harris.
Bain Rector.
And he's into me for
$2,500. Paid up front $2,500.
$7,625 for a walk-in tub.
All with similar endings.
But I always thought I was too smart to get taken.
Bain Rector paid Clore $4,400 in September. He never got his stair lift, but he did get a refund. And when he shared Clore's emails with us, we got a surprise. A different company name, 2911 Mobility. We did some digging and found out this business was created in July, and Access Mobility closed. News 4 scoured through court records in Virginia and discovered 48 civil cases filed against Clore, some dating back 10 years. Many of those cases were dismissed, some because Clore eventually paid the debt, others because he didn't have the money to pay, and then there are a few where he couldn't even be found to be served.
How many people have gone to court and just because he can't be served papers, they just blow it off?
We also contacted the Attorney General's office. Their Consumer Protection Division has received 11 complaints against Access Mobility. Clore worked with them to resolve 7 of those cases. 1 was unresolved and 3 are still open. And check out this warning on the Better Business Bureau's website. It alerts consumers to a, quote, pattern of serious complaints against Access Mobility.
We're trying to tell the consumer here, hey, we've received 30 complaints against this company, all very similar in nature, all very serious.
The BBB tells us they reached out to Clore before issuing the alert, hoping to resolve the issues, but
to this date, he has stopped communicating.
If somebody can keep having these complaints against him, how can he keep doing this?
But all of the complaints against Clore may have caught up with him. We've learned he is now facing criminal charges. 4 felonies in Stafford County, accused of taking money under false pretenses and failing to deliver products. He's due in court next month.
We were actually calling.
We reached out to Clore. He didn't want to go on camera, but he did tell us he is filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy and plans to refund all of his customers. However, the ones we spoke with say they just want one thing.
We just want it stopped. I don't expect to get a dime back.
Now, it appears that Clore's 2911 mobility website has been taken down, too. Now, Virginia state officials confirm that Clore does not even have a contractor's license as required by law. We asked the Attorney General's office if it was investigating further, and they would not comment.
These poor people.
Yeah,
Oh my
And you
God.
said it right. Like, why is this going on?
Why does it continue to go on and on and on and on and on?
Well, as we
What
said,
are the regulations?
It all may have just caught up to him with these 4 felony charges. He's due in court in December. We will be there.
And he bounces around. He's moving all around.
Yeah,
We can't find him.
it's like a shell game almost.
So, yeah, and it was heartbreaking, to get all of these people together. When we started hearing all of these complaints, I said to my producer, I said, you know what? We need to bring them all together. We need to show the impact that he has had on these people and
damage he's
done.
done.
And just listening to their stories. And then to see them how they, to get to where,
all the money they've lost.
Right, and a lot of these people
And
just
suffering.
They
Oh,
are.
my God.
Yeah, their relatives are literally
and
suffering.
some of their relatives died before they were even able to get their
Exactly.
refund. So,
Awful.
Yeah.
Good work.
Susan, thanks so
Well,
much.
I can't wait to see what happens next,
continues.
the
Yeah.
next chapter.
Right.
The follow-up.
Great.
We'll let you know.
We have a major development this evening in a News 4 consumer investigation.
Finally, some closure here. A Virginia business owner accused of taking thousands of dollars from customers and never delivering their medical equipment has been arrested.
Our consumer investigative reporter Susan Hogan is here with the new details. Oh, we've been waiting for this.
Absolutely. And as we told you just last week, we told you about dozens and dozens of complaints against a man named Jim Clore. He owned a company called Access Mobility Equipment for years and had recently started a new company called 2911 Mobility. Now, all of the people you see right there, they are customers of Clore. They say they paid him thousands of dollars for medical equipment like stair lifts or walk-in tubs, but never received the items. Clore did pay a couple of these people back, but the others are still out thousands of dollars and still waiting for promised refunds, including that woman right there, Sue Gill. She paid Clore $9,400 for a stair lift for her husband. She never got it, and her husband passed away weeks later. Today, we learned that Clore is in jail facing a felony charge in her case. That Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office arrested him yesterday. Clore is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow morning. Now, Jim Clore is also facing 4 felony charges in Stafford County as well. He is due in court for that case next month. A couple of weeks ago, Clore told us he plans to file bankruptcy under a plan that will allow him to pay back all of his customers. We will, of course, be following this one closely, and we will be in court, and we will let you know.
And you know, the thing that struck us, not just the number of people who you talk to, but their vulnerability. I mean, catching them at their lowest, their families and stuff.
Yeah, and that poor woman, her husband, died before they could even get the equipment.
Before they got the equipment, before they got a refund, and that's how, in a lot of cases, that was it.
Good work, Susan. Thanks so much.